So that's the main thing that I'm going to be doing, really, mostly. Okay, Burley. Hey, sweetie, I know you're ready to play here. She's ready to play. She's ready to get buck. Yes, that is what we call it, getting buck. Hey, sweetie. Hi, honey. I'm chit-chatting with Pearl. Okay, come on, sweetie. Huh. Interesting. I'm having an insight about something that I learned in psychology. Right now, I'm having an insight and I'm putting randomly, like, this is just how my brain works. It's like I'm just sitting here and, like, somehow this huge insight comes to mind. But it's like what's coming to mind is that there was something I learned, and I don't know what psychology class this was, but it was something like, let me figure out how to put this in words. Like, basically, it's the idea that, what was it? It's not just, man, I really wish, it's weird. It's kind of this odd thing where it's like I know what I'm trying to reference, but like I don't know, trying to catch on to the details of it, or like I'm trying to get back to the details of it, if that makes sense. Because like I remember writing it in my notebook, and it's I think the reason it's important is because of what I was thinking about is like how people interact with you, um or what was I really wish I could put the pieces together, but I'm just gonna chill and see if it comes up, okay? See if it comes up. Hi, Pearlie. Because I was basically just thinking about you and how you interact with your environment and how that influences the way that people in your environment interact with you, essentially. And it's like, and I'm not probably going to be able to get back to the term that I'm thinking of, or even the specific thing I'm trying to reference, but because I was thinking about it, because I was thinking like how certain people in my own life have responded to me in certain ways. And then I was thinking about it, and I was thinking like, yeah, well, maybe they responded to me in that way though because of how I am, like how I interact with them. So like that impacts then how people interact with you, and then that also can I wish I had like all my old notebooks from school, from college, that I could look it up, but because I would take real good notes. I would always like color code shit so I could remember it, which is why I can like rant, like I obviously can't specifically reference it, but it's weird that it's like popping up in my mind. And I just remember thinking it was really interesting learning that like it's not I think it was not exactly the way I'm describing it though either, so. But I think the most important thing was the first part I said is that, you know, people, like how you turn out is not just, it's, I wish I could like literally, it's so, this is such a frustrating feeling of like knowing what you're trying to reference, but not specifically. And so then I can't specifically reference it. So then I just have this vague idea to reference that I'm probably never even going to be able to. Oh man, it's like an itch you can't scratch. It's kind of driving me insane, but either way, I think the point is it's kind of like a scary feeling that I cannot tap in, and I don't know. It's fuzzy. It's cloudy. Tap into that specific memory. Ow. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get back to that, but I think it goes back to the humans creating their own suffering thing, because it's like the people in your environment may be nurturing you, or you know, like responding to you in such a way based on how you're behaving. And it's not to say it's your fault necessarily, but it's like, say, you know, a parent hasn't healed from their own shit, you know, and I don't know, they're intimidated by you. So they don't speak up about certain things or set certain boundaries or are protective about certain things because they're intimidated by you, or they think you'll like jump down their throat. Or they're just intimidated by you in general. So they may not say anything because also the way you present in the environment may come off in such a way where it's like it comes off as if you don't need that, you know. And so basically the idea that I was thinking of from psychology is that just that influences, that can then influence how the interaction happens from that person's end, and then that can impact you. Whereas like, I don't know how to explain it. So it's like there's like multiple facets to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a multifaceted, like how trauma happens, you know. And basically I'm just realizing that like, yeah, but also it's like unhealed things on their part, but then it's also like, oh man, yeah, it's interesting. So basically, it's essentially like if you were to respond in different ways to your environment, then your environment might respond in different ways to you, but because of how you respond to your environment, it responds back to you, you know, in such a way that kind of reflects what you're putting out. So it's psychology, but it's also energy, and it's also a lot of things. So yeah. I'm just realizing that within my own life. Like yeah, like if you push a person away and you keep them at arm's length, but then expect them to protect you or be there, it's like you're not exactly letting that person be there, but then expecting them to be, you know, doesn't make sense. But there's those attachment issues. Yeah. Fear. So it's like people will respond to you based on how you are interacting with them, and that may seem like an obvious thing to say, but I think people don't think about that enough, that it's like how the other person is interacting with you has everything to do with how you're interacting with them. So, yeah, I guess in a sense, taking accountability, it's important to self-reflect. Because when you change, the whole dynamic changes, you know. When you step out of the dynamic, it can't stay the same, you know. Yeah. If you're responding to your environment from a lens of, you know, feeling like everyone's going to hurt you, or feeling victimized by everyone, I mean, imagine the way your environment and the way the people in your environment are going to respond over time to that. I was going somewhere with that, but I don't know where, because it slipped my mind. Yeah, because like I kept hearing in my head, everything hurts, and it's like, you know, maybe somebody's like has that view on life or something like that, and it's thereby impacting how they interact with life and the people around them. That thought process, everything hurts, everything hurts. Maybe everything really literally does feel like it hurts emotionally speaking, you know? So it's like hard to not then assume that, I guess, maybe someone is doing that. I don't know if this is like channeled, but I'm going with it. You know, like, not everybody is out to get you or trying to do that. And so it's like, if you're coming from that headspace, then you're probably going to be pretty reactive. If you're coming from that headspace of assuming that everything's just going to hurt, keep hurting. Hi, Pearly. Oh my gosh, guys, Pearl's in here and she's real cute. Can you see her? Nice, sweetie. Here she is at the bottom of the screen, being cute. Hi, honey. Hi. Oh, she's out of here. She's pissed. She just gave me a dirty look for touching her. Honey, you're rude. You're very rude. So, I think, you know, this could be coming up because it's like, if you don't understand why the people in your environment are responding to you in the way that they are, or why this seems to be a common theme for you, it's like, consider how you are interacting with them. You know, I think that's because it's like, I don't know. I feel like someone needs to hear that. You need to look at your own approach. Yeah, you know, how are you approaching life? How are you approaching life from a victim mentality? How are you approaching life? You know, you could look at internal versus external locus of control for that. I guess, you know, I've been smoking this wedding cake and it's surprisingly good. It's one of my favorite strains, but I didn't know what to expect because, you know, 20%, it's not good, but we'll see. But yeah, I think that might be important to consider that. Because I was just thinking about that myself and thinking, like, you know, I play a role, but definitely play a role in that. But it's kind of like purposeful. So then it's like, you know, we have defense mechanisms we put up, but then that's the opposite of what we actually want. It gets us the opposite of what we actually want. So it's like anxious avoidant attachment, that would be, I think. It's like, you know, you fear closeness, but at the same time, that's also the one thing you really desire, you know? But you keep people at arm's length because, you know, I don't know, maybe somebody does feel like, you know, they're going to be hurt by life or people. But again, I think this person needs to look at how they interact with people, because you know, why are these things happening? Why do these things keep happening? Also, you guys, I feel bad. I came on here earlier to do a reading and I just wasn't feeling the energy, and I think I need to do sometimes maybe I think I need to do those missing persons readings like off lives, but either way, the energy was just off and I wasn't really directing it at the person in the chat or anything like that, or if there was anybody in the chat. I don't really like look too heavily, but anyway, after I was like, yeah, the energy's kind of fucked up in here, so anyway, I feel bad. The person, somebody unsubscribed, and I think they got offended, but I was just saying in general, you know, the energy was off, so it had nothing to do with anything other than that. The energy was just not right, so I don't push it, you know. But yeah. So you guys, what is going on? What's up? What's everybody up to? Drop your zodiac sign, where you're from, or just loiter, you know? Do your thing. Thank you for the watch time hours, honey. Humans. Strange individuals. I don't talk shit behind. I don't talk shit behind your back. I'm talking it right here in your face. So, peeps. Okay. That is fucking weird. Weirdo alert in the building. We've got a weirdo in the house. A weird ass motherfucker that don't want to talk in the chat. Don't want to say shit. Just want to linger and loiter. Okay, so my boyfriend and I were talking the other day when we were on live, like a couple days ago. And I was saying that that's my objective, typically, is to see if peeps don't say shit in the chat, I start talking shit, and I see. I see if it'll get them to go, you know? Just for entertainment purposes, guys. It's not real. I'm not really bullying or anything. It's just hilarious to me when I start seeing people click off. It's like, good. Goodbye. See ya. You know, I'm good with that. Def's good with that. Hi, Pearl. Hey, peeps. Woo! What's everybody up to? Nobody's gonna say shit, so here we are still. Hey, guys. Awkward moment here. Everybody's just here. Hi, Pearl. Pearl's here, but, you know. She's literally cuddling with my coat. You are a nerd. She sniffed it and then laid down. It's like, is that like a specific part of the coat you like? What's the deal, sweetie? Now she's staring at me rudely. Hi. Okay, sweetie. Okay, I think a lot of people that live near me smoke weed because, literally a second ago, I just heard loud coughing, like, and I hear it often. And then so that must have been where that smoke smell was coming from before, maybe. But I thought the guy above me smoked. Also, guys, update on that. I complained. Yep, I motherfucking complained. I said, listen. I said, this guy's walking around stomping on the floors at 2, 3 a.m. Okay? I'm up anyway, yeah, sure. But it stresses me out, to just hear somebody above you. Like, it's not that. It's like, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's like really, like, it's loud. So, yep, I had to let him know. I had to say, listen, I can't do this. Can't do this anymore. Well, the deal breaker for me was when I had this like ceramic tile thing fall. He was walking so hard that it fell. And I was like, no. And then like my whole kitchen would shake. It's like, come on. Come on. So like I was trying to be reasonable and trying to deal with it, but I'm like, you know what? This is actually legitimately increasing my stress level. Probably because I have PTSD, but like to hear that noise, above me, this looming Bigfoot just stomping around, coming for me at any moment. I'm just kidding. You guys are just fucking around, but yeah, it's been great since I complained, okay? I also had to say something because this guy would be like literally right now, which he's not. It's been very quiet, thank God. But around this time and 2 and 1 and 12 a.m., this guy would be up there and doing God knows what, dropping shit on the floor, like heavy objects. Like it sounded like he was moving his couch every night. It's like literally, and then I would hear this loud boom sound. And it's funny in the aftermath, like everything is, but in the way aftermath sometimes. But yeah, no, couldn't live with that. So yeah. This must be some decent weed because I'm feeling pretty good. It's interesting because it's 20%. But listen, it's wedding cake. That's what I'm telling you. Wedding cake, even if it's not giving you the full blown, it's like you're still getting the benefits and the effects. So, get paid Friday, people, and wow, that is going to be beautiful. It's great being, having no kids, no obligations, except for my cat, which I could buy her more stuff, but she already has a lot of stuff. So, it's just, it's peaceful. I have chosen to make my adult life as peaceful as possible, stress-free as possible. And I just wish that all other humans would consider that before making decisions themselves. Amen. How about that? Because I'm grateful I am like logical and analytical and intellectual because I'm also a very emotional person, but when I make decisions, I wouldn't say I don't make it with emotions, but I analyze things for quite a while before I make a decision. Like, I don't just like, if it's an important decision. But where was I going with that? Who knows? You know, my brain's a really fun place to be when it's, well, you know, it's calm most of the time, to be honest with you, but not all the time. Not all the time. But it's, you know, it's an interesting place to be. Just put it that way. In a good way. In a very good way. Yep. Where was I going with that? I think I was just gonna say, you know, it's important to value yourself. Recognize, you know, what you bring to the table. Woo! Oh my God, you guys. Ooh, you know what that is? That is the sound of someone's throat that has had too many blunts. Okay? That's what that was. Ooh, that's my throat just calling out. Calling out for peace. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Ooh, my God. Yeah. Definitely have to take a tea break, people. But I also should just drink water, guys. It's important. That's what I stick to these days, water and coffee. And blunts. Water, coffee, and blunts. It's a good diet. I did fast yesterday. Wasn't really purposeful, but yeah. I just like procrastinated and well, first I didn't have money. Then I got money. Then I procrastinated. Then I said fuck it. And here I am. Doing great still. Wow. What an incredible story, right? You guys, I'm just kidding. You know, just trying to, well, I'm not trying to do shit, but hopefully, you know, peeps are feeling good and finding some entertainment out of my fuckery. That's all I can say. And if you're not, that's okay because I am. You know what I did want to talk about? Now, bear with me because the point of this is not to talk about celebrities or celebrity news. It's to talk about something else. But I'm going to use an example of something that's going on. Okay? So, MGK and Megan Fox. I don't think this is supposed to be Megan Fox, but this definitely looks like Megan Fox on my wall. I'm just gonna pretend that's Megan Fox and, I don't know, a random cat. Anyway, I'm just kidding, Pearl, that's us. Honey, I think she's offended. Just kidding. Um, anyway, MGK and Megan Fox have been together, I think, for a while. I don't know how long. It seems like it's been a long time, but now I want to look, kind of want to Google it, but I will in a second. But so she gets pregnant, and finds out he's cheating on her. Now, my whole thing is, I'm pretty I'm pretty sure this has been a problem between them in the past. There's no way that's just like popping up out of nowhere, and if it is, it's only because she's pregnant. And the reason I say that is because I think the guy is secretly emotionally abusive, and that's a typical pattern of somebody like that who, and that's kind of common, where it's like, oh, once you're married to the person or got them pregnant, it's like they can't go anywhere. So that's what I think happened there. And my point in sharing this or talking about this is to say that it just made me think about how, women want to talk about, my God, hang on, because I just can't stop coughing. Okay, my bad. I had to full blown cough. But so it's like, what I was gonna say is that, you know, how, I don't know if you know this, but like back, I don't know if people are still doing this, but like when they were doing like protests and stuff like that for women's rights and stuff, and I think, what did they call it? Like, what was it? Like, let me Google it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay, so it's like basically, this whole idea of people talking about, how the vajayjay, has power, and it's like, that's not that's not the case. It's the womb, the power of the womb. And I think that's a lot of times what women misunderstand. And I mean, I guess it could be both, because it's like, if you don't give the pee up, you don't give the womb up. But at the same time, you can do one without doing the other and still maintain your power, because I think women don't understand that. Maybe they do understand this. I can't say. But what I know is that there's definitely power in preservation. And there's absolutely no way I am renting my womb out to an individual that does not put a ring on my finger. So my God. So I think that's what it means, is maybe people don't understand the how powerful. I just think, man, I wish this was earlier, because I was talking about this on the phone earlier. And it was real smooth, but that's your power. It's like, because once you create life and bring life, it's like, I don't know how to put it into words, but like depending on who you have a kid with, you kind of like, you have to be careful because you could be giving up that power to somebody that doesn't deserve it and isn't healthy, and then it's just kind of like, I don't know. I've always felt that way, that if I were to do that with somebody that wouldn't commit, I would, it's just, no. You don't deserve that. You know what I mean? Because that's why I said renting. You're renting it because you didn't commit to me. And why in God's name do people think it's a good idea to commit to having a child with someone that won't even commit to them? Okay. So somehow you think this person who won't even commit to you is somehow going to commit to your child? Let me guess. They see the child once a week, once every other week, once a month, once every few months. Come on. No. That will never be me. Unless you paid me a few mil, maybe I'd do it. Because then I could keep, nah, I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it. No, I would not do it. Because I know the power of it. Like, why would anybody even want to raise someone's child that that's just crazy to me, that won't even commit to them? That should be like a slap in the face. It's offensive. It should be offensive. But for some reason, for a lot of people, it's not. And people say, well, what does it matter? It's life, it's a baby. What does it matter? Life is the most valuable creation that we have. What does it matter? What it matters is that you're bringing life into a sloppy situation, so you're not valuing the life itself. See how that works? And you damn sure are not valuing yourself if you think that that's what you and a child deserves their life to be like. It's a trap. You're trapping yourself. Really. You think these are the types of women who think they're trapping the man, but really the karma is you're trapping yourself. Because these men that people are trying to trap are typically men that don't want to be trapped, and therefore these women end up having to, take care of the baby by themselves mostly. It's like, well, you didn't know the power of your womb. And so you gave that power to somebody who didn't deserve it and didn't earn it. And you abused life by bringing life into a shitty shithole of a situation if you do that. And that's the reality that a lot of people really don't want to look at. It's too painful. They can't fathom looking at how they could have been so unconscious that they could have brought life into this world without even considering how that life would be impacted by the world they were bringing it into and the environment. Yeah. It's reckless. And it's disrespectful to yourself, to that baby, to your womb. That's what I'm saying. That is gold, and people don't understand the importance of preserving that only until you meet somebody that understands the value of life just as much as you, if you even do value it. But if you're doing shit like that, you don't. So, you know, and it's like, this may come off as harsh, and people may be offended by this, but it's the truth. It's the reality. It's the reality. People make sloppy decisions in life and then want to blame everybody else. Oh, it's him. He won't pay child support. Why the fuck did you have a baby with him? It's you. You thought that was a good idea to go forward with that. You thought it was a good idea not to get on birth control or get Plan B or utilize healthcare and take a pill. So, again, take accountability and responsibility. Stop running to the court to beg for money from a person that clearly wasn't interested in committing to you. So why would they commit to a child that you bear with them? That makes no sense. Please use logic, people. But they don't. They act based on what society has told them. They act based on religion and all this other stuff instead of my bad, looking at psychology and trauma and considering life. Like, that's your child. Don't you value your child enough to not allow it to come into an environment with a piece of shit father and a piece of shit environment? Or no? Clearly not. Look at all of this. Look at this world. Look at this world. Look at all these women having babies with random motherfuckers. It's sad. It's sad. It's like, I talk to a lot of kids in the work I do, and it sounds stressful. It's like, oh my God, it's like 2 separate houses. It's like, come on, people. This is why they say wait. This is why they say wait for commitment, and this is why they say wait till you're older. Because typically when you're in your 20s, sometimes, I'm not saying it doesn't always work out, but I'm just saying, when you're really young, it's not always the case. So why are you making a child pay for your irresponsibility? Because some people look at this argument the other way around, and it's like, it's irresponsible not to take responsibility for a child you created. And it's like, but where you went wrong is that was responsible to even get pregnant to begin with. So anyway, I talk about this a lot because it's just something I'm passionate about, I guess, but also I just why did I bring this up? There was a reason I brought this up. Oh, because I was thinking about the power of the womb. That's what I wanted to talk about, and the power and the value of life, and how humans need to value life more than making decisions based on their traumas and insecurities and pretend relationships that they form with fucking weirdos and sickos. And then I don't get how some people can justify some of these things. It's wild. But denial is a bitch. And that's what a lot of people do in America. It's like, oh yeah, my kid's in all these activities. Sorry. It's like, okay, dude, that doesn't, Like, what is, okay, and so it sounds like you're putting a mask on reality and covering things up to try to make things that are not what they are. That's what that sounds like. It's like, and people are probably like, what do you mean? I shouldn't put my kids in activities? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you bring them into a shit situation and then do that and think like, oh yeah, they're a normal kid, they're gonna be just fine. I'm not saying they're not gonna be just fine. Of course they are. We all are. But what I'm saying is reality is still gonna be. So people need, that's why it's important to face it. So that when your kid has to face that reality, because they will, that you're ready to help them process it since you thought it was a good idea to bring them into it. So now the trauma that you created by bringing them into it, yeah, now you've got to resolve it with them because you didn't fix the karma yourself within you. So now, not only do you have to fix it within you, you got to help that kid fix it within them. Ouch. Talk about karma. This is why they say kids are your karma, you guys. They literally are. And not in a bad way. Kids are awesome. I love kids. They're incredible. But I'm just saying, like, that's what they mean. Look at Northwest and Kim K. a pat, or what was I gonna say? A match made in hell. It's hilarious. It's like a mini Kanye hanging out with Kim for the rest of her life. Talk about karma. Yeah, because you wanted to use the D to create life. You wanted to use a specific type of D to make life. And you thought. It's funny. It's hilarious. And there's more to come. I'm excited for her. But anyway, yeah, that's why it's important to look at that because, oh my God, I just think about some of these kids and I'm so concerned for them. Like, I don't give a shit about that family, but I care about kids and I think about all the kids and the kids that they brought into this life and I just feel so bad for them. Money does not heal emotional wounds or trauma. It covers it up again. There we go. Image. I think about that little baby that Chloe had with that cheater guy. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my gosh, those poor kids. That would suck. That would literally suck if that was your dad, and that would probably suck if that was your mom, but oh yeah, that would probably suck because she doesn't like herself. So it's just, oh my God, it's not a good situation. So all I'm saying is people need to think this through, but they don't. They think about themselves. And that's what creates suffering. So what am I saying? I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm saying heal your inner wounds before you have kids. That's what I'm saying. Heal your inner wounds and have kids from a space of selflessness, not selfishness. Have kids from a space of being healed and wanting to help guide another person to have the best possible life that they can have. And in order to do that, you need to be properly equipped, emotionally speaking, financially speaking. You need to be equipped in all realms. And it's just sad that people don't understand, like, this is like the most important job in the world. How do so many people fuck it up? I don't get it. I mean, we're human, but again, I think if people were more strategic and calculated with their decision making and their moves, wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be as much of a problem. You know, that's why I started, well, that's not why I started off this live with saying that, but going back to how I started off this live talking about how peaceful my life is, it's because I've planned things out far in advance, and I've gotten to know myself, and I've gotten to know what I value and what I don't, and how I feel and how I don't. And so therefore certain things I plan for well in advance. Like if this I've already said this, if this happens, I'm going to do this. And so when it happened, I did that. Period. It's called intelligence and critical thinking skills. I hypothesize that this is not a good idea to do this. My observations of other people in these situations has told me that this is a bad idea. Therefore, my conclusion is that more than likely, if I do this and go forward with this, I'm going to end up in that same situation as these other people who are suffering, and therefore, I'm not going to do that. That's what critical thinking is. Wow. So I don't know. I guess the oh damn, hold on. The point in this message is to say that women don't understand, I think, the power that they hold, and so therefore they don't know how to harness that power, and the power really lies in the womb. It does lie in the pee a little bit, because it's like, you know, you have to be careful who you exchange energy with. But it's not an end all be all. You can do cord cutting, you can do a lot of shit to detach and cut that energy. So it's not a forever thing. Okay? Now, giving your womb away that's a forever thing. It's forever and ever. Your womb will never be the same. Not that I would know, but I've heard. Anyway, I'm just saying, it's not going to be the same. Nothing's going to be the same. In fact, I've read, that after a woman has a baby, her brain actually changes. So it's like, again, all of these things, preservation is power, depending on, you know, who you're with. You know, creating life and bringing life into the world, I'm sure, is not easy. And why the fuck would you want to do it with an asshole who's creating stress for you? Again, trauma starts as soon as the baby's in the womb. So if there's stress, abuse, things like that, the baby's being traumatized in your womb, literally. So, yeah. I think it's just so important to me because I do value life and kids. I'm very protective of kids because I've been, you know, I grew up in a shitty situation. So the least I could do while I'm in this shitty world is make it worthwhile. Helping other people, protecting people. But yeah, a lot of reckless people out here who do not understand their own value and their own power. A lot of women that struggle with that. And so I think they give that power away by thinking, oh, you know, I mean, it's really a frivolous thought. It's like, oh, if I create life, this person that I created life with might value me. And it's like, you're like trading one, I don't know, it's kind of like not a healthy thought process. Because, like, you're not valuing life for the child. Again, you're like trying to fill a void or get a need met, which is selfish. And again, people don't, I think a lot of these things are probably very subconscious in people. It's not like they're sitting there thinking about it and they're like, fuck it anyway. No, it's not like people are like bad people. It's just that I think these are subconscious programmings that we've picked up in our society and taken in as like acceptable, especially because we're seeing these things a lot. That we're in a day and age where baby mama culture is, it's the thing. That's all Gen Z is doing. I feel sorry for those gals because, oh my God, can't even imagine. Whole generation of people who just want to like, okay, well, I can't say for sure. It's not the whole generation. A lot of peeps that don't want serious shit, basically. I mean, they're young, it makes sense, but don't have a fucking baby. Like, do whatever you want, but come on now. Or do. I mean, listen, there's exceptions to circumstances, but I still think you're giving away your power when you're giving that to somebody that doesn't value you or doesn't even want or value life themselves. It's like, how is that you valuing life? You're like, oh, well, I still care and I still value this life. Are you really valuing that life? Because you're not really looking at the whole picture. So how are you valuing that life if you don't even care the impact of like the repercussions of bringing a child into a situation with not proper stability or healthy parents? It's like, that's irresponsible. That's it's not right. And people think they're doing the right thing by preserving life, and they don't understand that no, preserve the womb. And I'm not saying don't preserve life, I'm just saying like you're missing the objective is to like preserve that for somebody who deserves that. That's what I'm saying. Value life, yes. I'm saying that. I'm not saying definitely bring life into this world. Yes, but with someone that values it and with the intentions that you value it and understand the value and the weight of like what you're doing. I just feel like people have kids so nonchalantly. It's like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, I'll just have it. It's like you're having lunch. Like, yeah, I'll have a sandwich, I have a baby. It's like, what? It's just like, okay. Do you know what that entails? Like, your life is over, dude. You're trapped. We need to start being real with the young ones about this. Like, come on. Unless you're really rich and can get nannies and shit like that, please enjoy your youth too, and give yourself space to grow and heal and experience life and obtain wisdom and knowledge so that you can properly raise a child, not slappily raise a child. You feel me? So I really feel for Megan Fox. Again, this looks like Megan Fox, I think. But I feel for her because Megan Fox is gorgeous. I think she is. And MGK is hideous, okay? Nasty, lanky, pointy nose, freak. Looks like that annoying nerd, in middle school that you just wanted to punch in the face, that like one obnoxious kid that's like, oh my God, just shut the fuck up. He looks like he would be that kid. Or the other thing that's coming to mind is this kid that I went to high school with, and rest in peace to him because he did pass. And I was always rooting him on every time I would see him at school, because he was always like, just into bad stuff. And I would try to encourage him, and just, he was a cool person. He was just, what's the word for it? Like, he just had a bad home life, basically. But he has Petrie vibes. His name was Petrie. His name was, well, I'm not going to say his full name on here, but yeah, we called him Petrie. And that's who MGK reminds me of. Sorry, Petrie. It's not, actually, Petrie's probably cooler than MGK, let's be real, but just kind of the same vibes, like burnout type vibes. But I'm basically just saying, rest in peace, Petrie, for real, because I don't disrespect the dead, because, yeah, definitely don't want to do that. But my point in saying all that is to say, she gave away her power to the wrong person. She didn't expect this guy. I mean, they were engaged at one point, but it's like, he's just sloppy. He's very sloppy. Clearly. He had a kid out of wedlock with someone else. It's like, sloppy. And then here he is having a kid with literally one of the most sought after, like when we were growing up, Megan Fox was like, everybody was like, oh my gosh, Megan Fox. And she is really pretty and talented. And so it's just kind of like, what is she thinking? That's where she's not. I don't think she's valuing herself. And again, when you don't value yourself, you end up in situations with people who don't value you. And so then you end up bringing life into a situation where nobody's being valued, including that life. And now here we all are, and that's what you call a karmic family. Yeah. Karmic. Kylie Jenner, Travis Scott, karmic. All the shit I named, karmic. And I'm not saying, marriage is the key to everything, but I'm just saying it is important to have standards and expectations, and it isn't the reason people do that. Now I've understood over time, because I used to think like, what the fuck, it's kind of stupid. But now I understand, like, no, it's not. Because if you want to bring a child into a situation, you want to make sure that you're with somebody that is stable enough, consistent enough to be in a long-term partnership, and again, commit to you so that they will be available and around to your child. It is, I don't know, I almost want to say it seems like it should be science, but apparently not. Like, you would think that like women would want to seek men that actually fit that biological expectation of protect and provide, but they don't. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I don't get why. I think it's a lack of consciousness. That's why. They're not aware. Because people don't sit around and think about these things when they're in their teenage years or early teens like I did, I guess. I thought these things through, like, no, not gonna be me. I'm never in life gonna be a baby mama. That is not about to be me ever. No, sorry, no. I don't want to struggle. I don't want to take care of a kid on my own. I'm too good for that. I deserve better than that. Too good looking for that. Too smart for that. Too good for it. And it's important to know that about yourself and know your worth, so that you don't end up in situations where you're devaluing yourself by settling for situations and people that don't value you. Some harsh truths in here tonight. Seems like this live should be lit with all the motherfucking knowledge I'm dropping, but hey, it's not. But it's late. I just don't feel like sleeping. It's such a waste. I think this is because I didn't eat. And, like then I learned the other day that, you're more energized and stuff like that. So I feel like that's why I'm like, but I'm hungry. I am hungry. I am hungry, folks. So the moral of the story is protect and preserve your power. The power is in the womb, not in the pee. However, I don't recommend you go out and be promiscuous either, because I still think respecting your body and treating it as sacred is just as equally as important. But the most important thing is to know the power of the womb, I think, and the power and value of life, and what that actually means bringing life into this world, because people just are so sloppy about it, and then they're like, yeah, my kid's gonna be fine. Oh, okay. Let me know how that goes in like 7, 8 years. 10 years, 15 years, I don't know, depending on how old the child is. But yep, ain't gonna be me. And then that's something to grieve too. Like that's something I don't ever want to have to grieve, because and I know I would, because I get sad about stuff with my cat, that I'm like, oh, that wasn't good, or I didn't that wasn't nice. I like yelled at her, or I like bopped her on the butt or something, and it's like, no. So I can't imagine like being a parent and, you know, in a sloppy way, and then somehow making, you know, I do not bop her in the butt, you guys. That was a one-time deal. It was not hard at all. It was just kind of like, no, sweet, like, no, sweetie. We're not talking abuse here, people. I do not do that. I adore this young lady over here. She's my bestie. And, shit, what was the point in what I was saying? You guys, I just went off on a tangent. Okay. Okay, the point of this, Pearl. The point is, you know, I'm sad about things I've done as a cat mom, that I regret. And so I can't imagine the weight of that with a child. I couldn't live with myself. It would just be devastating. I mean, whatever. Everybody messes up as a parent. Nobody's perfect, but um yeah, if I wasn't fully healed and had a kid and then fucked the kid up, I would definitely have a hard time functioning in my life. So yeah, no, I'm good on that. Again, I don't need extra stress in my life, personally. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. The thought of it also kind of scares the shit out of me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really don't want to go through pain. Really don't want to, really don't want to F my body up in any way. Don't want to fuck the womb up, the vajay up, no. So, it's like the feeling I get when I think about going on a roller coaster. It's like, no. It's like, just the process of it, not the aftermath, just the process of it, which I mean, I'll get over it eventually one day, but not today. That's not today. Oh shit, why is it? Oh, am I being too loud? Shit. Maybe I'm being too loud. I hear movement. I'm paranoid, you know. Just kidding, I'm not. I'm pretending to be though. Oh my god. Yeah. That is what I wanted to talk about though, was the power of the womb. And I did. So I just feel for Megan Fox. Now she's trapped. Oh well. She's rich. It's not gonna be as stressful for her at least. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, if you don't eat all day and you don't eat dinner, it's like, do you just like eat dinner in the morning? Like, what do you do? Because I'm hungry. And I don't have breakfast food, so I guess I'm having dinner in the morning, folks. Well, it's not really the morning, it's still night in my eyes. 1 a.m. 1 a.m. here, so.